Have you ever wondered what it feels like when someone everyone thinks they know finally decides to reveal their truth? What secrets have been hidden behind months of silence, carefully maintained smiles, and rare public appearances? Could a whisper be louder than headlines? These are the questions that the world found itself asking as Can Yaman, the Turkish actor who has captivated millions with his charm, beauty, and enigmatic presence, finally broke his silence after months of speculation. For months, Can had remained unseen, unheard, untouched by interviews, statements, or even subtle social media hints. Fans, journalists, and gossip columns alike waited with bated breath for the moment he would speak. And now, that moment had arrived. Rumors and personal speculations swirled endlessly, yet Can chose the perfect time to open up, revealing truths that stunned the world and sent waves through hearts everywhere. In a private interview in the historic heart of Rome, his voice low and deliberate, Can admitted, "I was not avoiding the truth. I was only waiting for the right time." Those words landed like a storm of emotions. When Can speaks, it is never ordinary. Each word carries the weight of a man who has lived under the blinding glare of fame, love, and heartbreak. Fans had noticed subtle shifts in his demeanor in recent months: the distance, the softness in his tone, his rare public appearances. Some believed he had stepped back from fame entirely, while others suspected a deeper story lay hidden. The reality was far more personal. According to sources close to him, Can's silence was not an avoidance of questions, but a protection of something fragile. Years of living under the public gaze, of relationships splashed across headlines, and of emotions dissected by millions had taught him the value of guarding his peace. A close friend shared, "He has grown tremendously. This is not the Can people saw 5 years ago. He is now more reflective, less impulsive, and more genuine." During the conversation, he spoke about how fame had taken over his ability to feel. He confessed that there were moments he did not recognize himself, saying, "Sometimes, when everyone is talking about you, you forget your own voice." His silence, then, was not a confession alone, it was a rebirth. Those present described the atmosphere as heavy yet liberating, a room filled with calm authenticity that spoke volumes about the man behind the public persona. Can, carrying the burdens of international fame and romantic speculation, found peace for the first time in years without the need for a grand press conference. There were no flashing cameras, no dazzling backdrops. He simply sat quietly in Rome, in the dimly lit room he had called home these past few years. Leaning forward, taking a deep breath, he said something unexpected. "Sometimes silence is not fear. It is love. I waited for the right time because some emotions deserve to be spoken once and never taken back." That single sentence ignited the internet. Fans across the globe began to wonder who he was referring to, and the timing of his revelation did not go unnoticed. Just days earlier, paparazzi had spotted Can at a private dinner with a woman who shared a deep connection with him, not colleagues or casual friends. There were no hand-holding or public displays of affection, yet his gaze told the story in ways words could not. Italian media sensationalized the event as a dinner of truth, but only when Can finally spoke did everything begin to make sense. A source close to him told She magazine, "It wasn't about rumors or work. Can was guarding something emotional. He wanted to reveal it when it was real, not when the world was demanding answers." In the past, Can had been quick to anger, passionate, and often unfiltered. Now, his voice carried a calmness born of heartbreak and healing, a maturity earned through years of navigating fame's relentless glare. "Silence is not indifference," he explained. "Sometimes it means you care too much and fear breaking what still matters." Those words resonated with millions, touching hearts beyond romance. It was about Jan himself, about who he was. Observers noted the transformation immediately. Once fiery and restless, his eyes now reflected a soft compassion, a gentle recognition of life's deeper currents. He concluded the interview with a smile that held thousands of memories, saying quietly, "You cannot rush the truth. Sometimes waiting is the most honest thing you can do." Then he rose, leaving behind a silence louder than any statement he had ever made, but this time, it was the silence of peace. The world began seeing a different Jan Yaman, no longer just a celebrity caught in endless gossip and camera flashes, but a man who had spent years protecting his heart. Sources close to him revealed that his decision to finally speak was not sudden but the result of months of reflection, solitude, and emotional reckoning. He had spent long periods avoiding the past, the shadows of failed relationships, rumors, and friendships lost to misunderstanding. "I used to think strength was moving fast," he admitted. "But true strength is looking back without hatred, without regret, and simply saying, 'I have learned.'" This statement resonated deeply with millions who had watched him evolve from a mesmerizing television star to an international icon. Yet fame, as he acknowledged, came at a cost. He admitted that early on, he often felt imprisoned by his own image, forced to be perfect, strong, untouchable. "I was exhausted. You cannot be a hero every day. Sometimes you just want to be seen as human," he confessed. What the public saw now was not perfection, but a man who had found peace and acceptance. Colleagues on recent sets remarked on a newfound energy, no longer seeking validation or reacting to negativity. Instead, patience, calmness, and a softer presence suggested a man finally living for himself. An Italian director working with him noticed a depth previously unseen, a magnetic authenticity shaped by suffering and resilience. People listened not because of his fame, but because of his truth. This, perhaps, was Jan's greatest transformation, turning silence into power, past into wisdom, and heartbreak into art. Yet one question lingered: who inspired this change? Who, or what had guided him through this emotional evolution? While he named no one, those close to him hinted that his heart might quietly belong to someone special, someone who entered his life not with fanfare or spectacle, but with understanding and patience. A friend remarked, "He did not ask questions. He listened, and that is why he trusted her." After years hidden behind silence, Jan finally did what he had long feared. He spoke his truth. However, as fans would soon discover, this truth carried an unexpected twist. It was something he had held on to for years, and while the world assumed he had said everything, he had not. When the silence seemed over, he shared a final message that left fans breathless. Late that night, he posted a black and white photograph of a serene, infinite sea on his Instagram story. No filters, no tags, just a single caption in Turkish. "I waited because some hearts grow quietly." Those words spread like wildfire. The simplicity of the message was devastatingly powerful. Millions of fans understood instantly that this was more than a reflection. It was a confession. It was about love, an enduring love that had never ended. People began to connect the dots, realizing that his silence had been a form of protection, not for himself, but for someone else. One journalist wrote, "Jan Yaman is not hiding because he is afraid. He is hiding because what he feels is more real than the world's noise." This was the essence of it all. It was not just a celebrity revealing secrets. It was a man rediscovering the courage to feel deeply again. Those who saw him in Rome after the interview described a lighter, peaceful Jan, finally forgiving himself. He smiled more, warmly greeted fans, and even allowed paparazzi to photograph him, a gesture he had avoided for months. When asked, "Jan, are you in love?" He did not deny it. He simply smiled, saying, "Maybe love has always been there. I just needed time to see it clearly." This sentence became the headline of every major entertainment outlet because, for the first time, Jan Yaman no longer hid behind mystery or denial. He admitted, beautifully and honestly, that his heart had been replenished. Even critics acknowledged the moment as raw, real, and profoundly human. The fire of gossip transformed into the warmth of understanding. Fans across Turkey, Italy, and beyond flooded social media with messages. "He is not the same January. He is better. We waited, and it was worth it. This is his most beautiful confession yet." And perhaps that was exactly what Jan meant. He was not merely waiting for the right time. He was waiting for the right truth, a truth that could exist quietly, like the night sea. Vast, calm, infinite. Because after all the chaos, fame, and heartbreak, Jan Yaman finally spoke. And when he did not shout. He whispered, and the whole world listened.